Good morning. It is Friday, October 31st. We are doing a quick Halloween stream. You missed streams on FOMC day, the day after FOMC, and trying to get this in this morning before we move on for the day. We have a pretty busy day, so we are still on level 9. We're at like $633 right now. That did dip down to level 8 in the last 2 days, but back above, so we're on level 9. Basically, if we look at Bitcoin, what happened was we had the daily EQ, break bull. Bring it up here, sorry. Is that it? There we go. We had the daily EQ, break bull, without follow through. So we were watching this one, oh, that's Ethereum. Same thing. So we had this daily EQ, break bull, with no follow through. We took the liquidity high right here. And I was actually looking for a short up here in this zone because there was a fair value gap here. There's reason that I was looking for. There's golden pocket up here. I was looking in this 116,000, 118,000 for a short. Didn't pull the trigger here, but looking at this on the daily, we did take that liquidity and had this pretty clear sign reversal on the daily with this topping candle, and then we had the opportunity to short for the lower high the following day, which is probably a 4-hour lower high. Yeah, 4-hour lower high. So there was multiple attempts. There was multiple ways you could have seen this to short. You know, this lower high here, another clear sign on volume. Then we went down yesterday pretty significantly after FOMC. Tonnage was kind of a little more hawkish. So the rate cuts in December are not a guaranteed thing. He kind of hinted that they're not a guaranteed thing, so the odds of that's going down. But QT is ending in December as well, so a little bit mixed, but his tone overall was a little bit hawkish. So the market reacting to it a bunch with a 8% drop yesterday, which is pretty significant for Bitcoin. Pretty big bear trend day, and I think, yeah, so we had the hourly downtrend. There was, once the downtrend confirmed here with this EQ broke bear, we never got an hourly uptrend until this morning. So we got the hourly uptrend actually around midnight yesterday, but it's looking like a pretty weak trend to me. I mean, we did flip the EMAs, and we do have this kind of grinding up on low volume uptrend right now, but let's measure it from the top. Daily there, yeah. So kind of the gray zone here. We're a little bit above 382, but I would say 4-hour is definitely the guide. There's enough room for a 4-hour lower, higher low here, so we'll keep an eye on that and see if bulls break this hourly, this trend and lose EMA 12, which I think they will, just based on the way that this looks coming out of the bottom here. You would look for a 4-hour higher low somewhere in here around 108,250, something like that. Let's set some alerts under this wick. And then see if bulls can shape that up or we head to new lows. So we're still watching this megaphone. Yeah, so you can see the golden pocket. I was looking at shorts right here. Didn't quite get up there. I was watching and relying on this 4-hour SMA a little too much to pull the short, kind of holding a support. And looking at it now, I don't think I would have pulled a short here. Up here would have made more sense, but once we lost this, we did get the retest of the EMA on 4-hour 4-hour EMA test again. I bet you the 15 over bought there too. Yeah, close to it right here. So you had this short opportunity there that I didn't take as well, but this was holding here. It held again, and we got the bounce up, and so that's a nice solid throwback on the last stream. And that was going into FOMC, and FOMC just nuked the entire setup. So didn't really try to play bounce in here too much. I think I tried to play some alts on some of these, and that's where I took some losses, but got them back yesterday. So just up, down, just remaining flat, which is the habit I want to get out of. It's just taking less trades and ones with more conviction, so I can get out of the roller coaster flat, stuck on level 9 train. So that is the quick Bitcoin look on the daily. On weekly, if this ends up being a weekly downtrend here, then we will look to monthly EMA 12, which is down right now around $100,000. And there's a lot of resting orders. There's a lot of things happening down there. So I could see that as a possibility. I actually almost see it as more of a possibility than testing these highs again, but could also see a rally into the end of the year. We will see and let the chart guide us. Right now, the 2-week I think is pretty nice too. You are fighting this for the full year, this 2-week bearish divergence since 68,000. So bulls really need to step up. The volume has also been decreasing on every leg up. So we'll see if we can get any change there. But right now there is no change. So letting that be our guide. Even the momentum here. We got a 37 surf score, kind of just neutral in general on Bitcoin right now. Daily kind of inside bar right now. Low volume. Halloween may bring some kind of fireworks later on. They like to do this during holiday events, Christmas, just kind of mess with low liquidity and run stops and stuff like that. So I'm not looking to position too heavily. Have a busy day. I'm gonna be at the school with the kids and stuff. So that is the quick Bitcoin update. DOMI, Bitcoin dominance, continues to go higher, as Ben Cohen's saying. A lot of times these wicks happen and they get filled. So I wouldn't be surprised to see another 63, 64% dominance. Total's back to testing support. Total 2. It's actually, I would say, weaker right now. So I have to keep an eye on that. USDT dominance. Used this yesterday to get some entries on this here. Yeah, so we're running these highs here, and I entered some longs on some altcoins that worked out. Ethereum is in trouble. I mean, we're seeing this seeing this right here. I'm still viewing it as this trench that must hold. So you have this zone here. So there's it's okay right now to have some overlap, but really if you get down here into the low 3000s and then you get a retest, this could be a short zone. So we're really disappointed that happened to Ethereum. Ethereum didn't hit a new all-time high, just barely, within like pennies or like $100. So it's a possibility to come back down, then come back up. Maybe get this in 2026. As Ethereum rips faces and goes $10,000 to $20,000. I think that's a possibility as well. But right now it's kind of under pressure. Under 4,000. We're kind of consolidating underneath resistance. It's not the best look for Ethereum, but I know ETH dominance and ETH BTC are also looking for weekly higher lows. So kind of at a crossroads here. Which way will it break? So the other name I've been trading is Tao, T-A-O. And this has been a beauty. So let's start out just clean chart. We had the liquidation, so it's October 10th right here. Got above that 2 days later. And then we held above that for 19 days. So we have a daily EQ. That is kind of testing right now. The upper bands of support. Yesterday, you did take this liquidity here. 390, got some entries on some longs there we'll go over in a sec. But we're just seeing which way this equilibrium consolidating above. I have bullish bias on this for a breakout in the next days, weeks, stuff like that, so. But more locally on the hourly, we'll look at yesterday was capped by 15-minute EMA 12. And I tried an entry here based on this wick. So I think I got it here and stopped out here. So this ended up being just a bear flag, 15-minute EQ, bear flagged and went down to new lows. So what gave me confidence in entering down here, so I think it was like a 2-minute trend change. Now it kind of skipped off the bottom here. I got in somewhere around here. Just with this still being an EQ and wanting to get involved in it, I think it might have been hourly oversold. Yeah, it was hourly oversold. So that was kind of my hourly oversold. We got a starter. We added, I think it was like a 5 SUI position or Tau position. And we sold all of it into hourly EMA 12 touch right here. Saying if we flip it, I'll get back involved. And we did flip it. We got the test again on the EMA. And it was in the middle of the night and I wasn't there. So sold. And now it's up and away. So should have left a piece. That kind of stinks because it's the strongest name now out of all the names. And we had 14% off the bottom. And I only capitalized on 6%. And that 6% did get me back into level 9, but we would be up. My original, I think I had 15 Tau position initially and got risk-free real quick, but that'd be up $900 right now. And I think I only realized like 100 something. So just another lesson for me that don't sell everything on the first touch, especially on a name that's been looking for a reason to buy a dip. And if you do, make sure you get back involved. So I did this and I set some limits at 410. Or down here when I went to bed, and none of those hit, of course. So we are back up to testing the highs here. Let's talk about where I would want to get back involved if this does break bullish. Really don't like doing breakout buys, especially on crypto with all the scams and everything. So I'd almost rather wait for another daily higher low wherever that forms. But I can't buy right now. You just can't long that. 4-hour stair step. Hourly uptrends our guide. Maybe we get some volatility on open and we get an opportunity to buy somewhere in here for a 4-hour lower high later today. So around here, that'd be a nice entry. Maybe it lines up at 15, oversold somewhere here. I wouldn't hate that as an entry. But just have to remind myself to wait for the trend change. So here we had the 15-minute downtrend all day, 15-minute EMA. We flipped into support. There's your entry. Your entry wasn't here on the left side of the V. Just wait for the V to switch. Look, we got red, pink, red, pink. We switched to green, yellow, switched to green, and there's your entry. Boom, up and away. And you can have more size. You have more confidence. And if you are entering on the left side, it sometimes takes multiple attempts, and you end up just running your bankroll down a little bit. So, but enter down here, you had large money flow coming out. You had a little bit of divergence with the pressure here, but you also got the confirmation. You got the 15-minute entry here, and then you got the confirmation arrow on the 15-minute. So I'm really trying to use the 15-minute, 4-hour, and really not get too caught up in the 5-minute, 3-minute. Only use those for tight entries, but don't look at those all the time. There's no reason. You're just driving yourself crazy. So, like I said, we're at daily highs here. Wouldn't be surprised if we pause, get a little pullback, and we'll measure the size of the pullback and maybe look for a 4-hour entry on Tau. Now on Hype, this is when I still have a position open, and of course, because it's not going as well. I mean, it's only down $10. I think I already, it's $10, negative 10 unrealized, but I realized already $100 of it. So I caught this move up. I sold 90%, literally at 45.50. Where is that? That was higher than that. I'm actually going to bring it open on Bybit right now and look. Okay, so it was 46. So we were right here at the top. So we sold partial 45, 44.70, partial 45, partial 45.50, and partial 46. And then we never confirmed the hourly uptrend, confirmed the hourly downtrend, and now we're at a current double bottom on Hype. So there's no reason to close it right now at the double bottom. Put a stop underneath here would definitely be targeted, but if double bottom's going to hold, so we'll keep that open and go on our way. Set some alarms on Tau for the bull break up here, but also if we break this low, we'll look for the 4-hour higher low entry. I went over like 150 alts yesterday and found only 5 of them were consolidating above those liquidation candles. So definitely bleak out there, and you have to make sure you just play the strongest names only. Otherwise, you're trying to predict a reversal and playing weakness, not strength. So that's what we're going to continue to do. We're really just playing TAO and Hype. That's it. And maybe a little Bitcoin and Ethereum here and there. Looking at Sol and Sol ETH. Not too interested right now. Kind of same deal as ETH if we're going to get a weekly low or high or not. All right, so October in general wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. It was kind of whatever. It was definitely not Uptober. And if you look at the monthly candle, it's closing in 10 hours, but right now, pretty bearish looking candle. So keep that in mind. 2 week. Been sideways now since July. So sideways here on Bitcoin, sideways since July. Alts, not sideways since July. Majority of them are way down. So until that changes, just play relative strength and not go crazy on alts and just take it easy. Keep that bankroll alive, and you know the conditions aren't ideal. Just tell yourself when the conditions change, recognize that change, and you can really pop up those levels and really move up the totem pole here. But until then, don't try to make something happen that's not there. And don't put the cart before the horse. Just be patient, wait for setups, and be analytical. So that's what's going on for October. I wish it was a better month, but it is what it is. Hopefully November we can kill it if it's bearish or bullish. If it's bearish, we'll have some clear bear setups. All right. That's it for me. Have a good one.